Hi, my name is Tomasz Starczewski, and for those who don't know me, I am a neuroscientist who took antidepressants, and after 6 years of hard work, I have successfully recovered from protracted withdrawal and PSSD. Today, I want to share with you some useful tips that can help in the process.
Can passing time help with recovery?
So I strongly believe that time itself is crucial regarding healing process from antidepressants or antipsychotics, but it's quite tricky regarding wave and windows pattern. Sometimes it feels like it's forever and that the symptoms will never go away. I know because I also been there, but having in mind that you will improve over time and that the process is not linear is very important. We may feel that the symptoms are improving, and the next day we will wake up and feel at our lowest. However, as the study from surviving antidepressants shows, the median of the healing process took around 36 months for people to improve or recover from protracted withdrawal. I do strongly believe that besides waiting out for the improvements to happen, you need to actively participate in the healing process.
How to cope with grief in healing process?
So the grief is a natural process in the recovery from psychoactive drugs. It's important to allow yourself to go through it. In this case, we need to temporarily accept the deterioration of sexual, emotional, and cognitive functions. During the grieving stage, it's important to seek professional emotional support. Whether it is psychotherapy or group support, it is very crucial not to be alone in this process. Unfortunately, in that case, it is often that our closest friends and family are not fully aware of what we are going through. So it's best to empathize with other sufferers. It's also very tricky because those groups are often not well moderated, and we can encounter people who are dooming and they are very skeptical about the recovery. I myself was like that when I was at my lowest, and I was actually actively dooming others and saying that there is no hope from the recovery. So uh, please be aware that those groups are not safe, and it would be best if you participate in professional psychotherapy that is specifically related to recovering from protracted withdrawal.
How can I improve my disrupted sleep during protracted withdrawal?
During the recovery process from antidepressants, our sleep is often disrupted and the quality of it is quite poor. And addressing the sleep pattern is quite crucial regarding the healing process. Using supplement like melatonin can further desynchronize our sleep pattern since we are interfering with our natural production of that hormone from pineal gland, and further desynchronization of our sleep pattern can have very negative consequences regarding healing from antidepressants. Sometimes using simple techniques can be most beneficial regarding our sleep quality. So, staying away from blue light before going to sleep, having a cold temperature in your bedroom, and going to sleep before 10 p.m. for your optimal melatonin release is the best way to go. Strongly discourage you from using any supplements to aid your sleep. It can further disrupt your natural sleeping pattern.
Healthy guts help me recover from antidepressants.
One of the theory claims that people who are struggling with protracted withdrawal or PSSD are facing issues with the guts. It's important to know that our neurotransmitter are being produced in the guts, mostly in the guts, not in the brain. Addressing those issues is essential in the recovery process. One thing is to avoid processed food that cause inflammation and keeping your diet clean. Another aspect to address your guts would be to add food that is rich in probiotics. There are certain probiotic strains like Rhamnosus and Longum that affects neurotransmitter productions. Adding those to your diet could be also beneficial.
What diet do you recommend during recovery from antidepressants?
So, besides taking care of your guts with probiotics and psychobiotics, it's also important to focus on inflammation by addressing proper diet. In my case, what worked for me was ketosis, and carnivore diet. When you are in ketosis, you're increasing your autophagy that helps regenerate your cells in your body and in your brain as well. And being in a calorie deficit also promotes ketone levels in your body. The tricky part is about this diet is that we need to go through adaptation phase that's called keto flu. It's extremely difficult when you are suffering from protracted withdrawal or PSSD, and you have to deal with keto flu on top of that. But once you get through this, and you will start noticing improvements in your cognitive functions and sexuality, it's totally worth it to give it a shot. During this regimen, it's important to measure ketone levels using special strips or measuring beta-hydroxybutyrate from the blood.
Can neurogenesis be helpful in the healing process?
So addressing things that stimulates brain-derived neurotropic factor can help you with speeding up the process of recovery. By doing so, the best way to go is simply exercise. Doing weightlifting or cardiovascular activities triggers the cascade in your brain that stimulates regeneration process of your nerve cells and increasing BDNF. Within a few months, you will notice improvements in your quality of life and your symptoms will decrease. It was also confirmed in the study where researchers were comparing physical activity and antidepressants use regarding depressive symptoms. So we can use physical activity that will boost your brain-derived neurotropic factor, increase neurogenesis, and stimulate nerve growth. Although I do understand that it's very difficult, especially when you are so low with protracted withdrawal that you cannot motivate yourself to physical activity. But I do believe that if you force yourself, at least at the very beginning, to any physical activity, and then you will implement more and more changes and new routines until you will be fully functional.
Does psychoactive affect the recovery process?
Many of us has the urge to take psychoactive during the healing process because of tremendous suffering that we are going through. However, I strongly advise not to use them because they simply disrupt the healing process. Brains are very sensitive during the process of recovery from psychoactives, and they are very sensitive to any disruption from the exogenous substances like alcohol, weed, or other psychoactives. And if we take those substances during the recovery process, we are disrupting the natural homeostasis mechanisms that our body is trying to achieve during the healing process. So if you take psychoactives while recovering from protracted withdrawal, you are simply potentially slowing down the healing process. Temporary relief is very tempting during the process. However, I strongly advise to use other methods way safer and less harmful to your nervous system during the recovery process.
Can reinstatement help with protracted withdrawal?
Many people considering going back to meds during protracted withdrawal because they don't see any signs of improvement or any hope for recovery. Reinstating after acute withdrawal is over will lead to further destabilization of a nervous system and prolong the healing process from protracted withdrawal. Another thing is that if you taper too quickly, at some point you might not be able to handle the withdrawal symptoms from tapering too fast, which eventually will lead to reinstatement. So tapering in the proper way and handling the acute withdrawal symptoms is crucial for people not to reinstate the medication after discontinuation that can have negative impact on their healing process and can prolong it for many months or even years.
Are there any supplements that can help me?
So I do believe that this question is the most difficult to answer because I fully understand that during the healing process from protracted withdrawal, people have temptation to take another pill to reverse, hoping that they will reverse the damage that has been done, or simply ease the pain or alleviate the symptoms. But during the healing process, our nervous system are very fragile and unstable. That's why they react differently to supplements or medications that are being introduced in the healing process, to be very cautious introducing any drugs to our system, and sometimes hoping that we will benefit from one drug or another. The results might be totally opposite. For instance, many people have tried supplements like St. John's wort or ashwagandha, hoping that they will get those positive effects like boosting the mood or helping them with sleep. But in the end, they seem to be crushed from those drugs and slow down the recovery process. The only supplement that I'm confident about is magnesium orotate that promotes and improves sleep quality, and it's considered to be safe. However, there are also many other drugs or supplements that can help with the protracted withdrawal or PSSD, but I will talk about it in another video.
What about other useful tools like relaxation techniques?
Toning the nervous system is very important during the protracted withdrawal. Sometimes we are very agitated, restless, and in a fight or flight response. So implementing uh, techniques like meditation, Wim Hof breathing, or cold exposure could be very beneficial. There was also interesting study that showed that cold exposure elevates the neurotransmitters level. So this is a good way to quickly improve our mood during the healing process, especially when we are in a wave and wind down pattern. The general conclusion is that there are many things that will ease the pain and can speed up the healing process from antidepressants. So if you are actively participating in the healing process despite suffering and forcing yourself to things that are helpful and promoting the overall well-being and regeneration of your nervous system or entire body, the chances of quicker recovery are much higher. We're all traumatized by protracted withdrawal or PSSD, but it's up to us if we decided to actively do something about it or simply wait it out for things to improve. In my opinion, actively participating in the healing process is far superior by just simply waiting for things to improve.